YouTube! Welcome to my YouTube channel. This video has been in the making for the past month and a half, and I'm sorry. I've recorded this video I think more than 15 times, but I did not like any of them. So you know what? It's already been a month and a half. I said I've been going to put out this YouTube video, so I grabbed the camera and I'm gonna make it, and this is the video that's gonna go out, and that's it. Anyways, guys, welcome to my first YouTube channel. My name's Anthony Osorio, and today we're gonna have doing a Q&A. So question number one is, where am I from? So for the people that don't know me, my name's Anthony Osorio. I'm 20 years old, and I was born and raised in Elmont, New York. For those of you that don't know, Elmont, New York is right outside of one of the major 5 boroughs of New York. It's right outside of Queens, right? I would say outside of New York, if I were to explain where Elmont is, right near the Belmont racetrack, right? If you literally go down the street from the Belmont racetrack, you're in Jamaica, Queens, right? So I was born and raised in Elmont, right? Lived there my whole life. Went to elementary school, high school in New York, and I moved to South Florida in 2018, right? At the age of, I want to say, I'm 20 now, so I can't do math right now. I was 15. Yes, I was 15 when I first moved here. And I would say that's where everything blew. So, around 2020, when the pandemic hit, I was in New York at that time, and I spent almost the entire pandemic, almost like 6-7 months of the pandemic, in New York, right? Especially, to be more specifically, in Queens. At that time, Queens was the hotspot of the pandemic, right? Of the COVID pandemic. So everything was shut down, and I had already started seeing some gains, and I lost a lot of weight, right? And I wanted to keep that off, right? I was very self-conscious of never wanting to look fat again, right? So the only way and the only thing that was on my mind that I could think of at the time to burn calories while I was in New York, while everything was closed, right? Looking back at what I did to originally lose weight was running. So during the pandemic, I got really heavily into running, and at most during the pandemic, I ran a half marathon. And from there, once I came back to Florida after the pandemic, I was still running, and I started going back to the gym, but it would be on and off, right? I would be lifting for a while, then I would switch back to running, and then maybe I would go like on a small run one day and then go train, right? But it was never both like a hybrid routine. I would say fast forward 2020, the end of 2020, the end of 2021, I went ahead and made the executive decision to sign up for the Miami Marathon, my first marathon, right? Never ran anything past 13.1 miles. So once I signed up for the Miami Marathon, I specifically cut out all strength training, right? At that time, I wasn't educated how strength training and aerobic training could benefit both of it, if done correctly. And I strictly focused on endurance training. So from this, I would say August of 2020, I went ahead and I strictly ran, stopped going to the gym, and I lost a lot of weight. My average mileage was 6 to 8 miles a day, right? I was putting in about, I would say 40-50 miles a week. And I got really skinny And I think at my lightest, I was 137, 38 pounds. Once I completed the Miami Marathon, literally 3 days after that, I was like, okay, you know what? After I got my pictures of the Miami Marathon, I realized how skinny I looked, and I was like, it's time. So right after the Miami Marathon, I got back into the gym, but I did not cut off endurance training. This was the time where I decided to start getting educated on how to balance endurance training and strength training, right? The most challenging race I've ever done was actually pretty recent. So on November 12th, I went ahead and did the Giro de Rigo in Girardot, Colombia. This is a 97-mile bike race, or if I'm not wrong, it was 158 kilometers. Now, let me give you the backstory on this race. Prior to this race, rode my bike maybe 4 times at most. Reason being, towards the end of the summer of 2023, I really started to dial down on my strength training and on my running. I much rather prefer to run than to ride my bike. And I already have a tight schedule as it is, right? This is me just making excuses, right? And I didn't want to make any time to ride the bike because I genuinely don't like riding the bike, right? Riding a road bike. So in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, I'm already logging 6 to 7 miles a day. I'm strength training. I should be good. Prior to this race, I went to Georgia and I did a 104-mile bike race. And yes, it was very, very hard because I wasn't putting the miles in on the bike, but I still did it, right? And this was maybe 6 weeks before the Giro de Rigo. So in my mind, I'm like, yo, okay, if I just did 104 miles in Atlanta, I'll maybe ride my bike here and there, whatever, just to prep for this race. But like, I couldn't be bothered to ride the bike. I just don't like riding the bike. So time to Colombia comes around. We end up leaving a few days before the day of the race, which is November 12th. And it was only, if I'm not wrong, 7,000 feet of elevation gain. A little backstory to that too. 6 weeks prior to that, I had done 11,000 feet of climbing, which 5,000 feet more, I'm thinking, okay, that's gonna be even better. It's gonna be even easier. I should be good. Boy, was I wrong. Come to the day of racing, right? I have been eating really, really bad, right? As soon as I got to Colombia, any meal prep, any portioning, out the window. As soon as I landed in Colombia, anything and everything I saw and anyone I saw, I was eating, right? So I start the race and I already knew, okay, like I'm probably gonna be the last one. People are flying past by me. I'm just pacing myself like, okay, I just need to get this done. It's gonna be a matter of time when I get this done. Let me tell you, 30 miles into this race, my left arm was starting to go numb. But this is nothing new, right? After a time period spent riding the bike, my hands would always go numb, but that would be for me gripping the handlebars so hard. And it was nothing new to me, so I would just stand up, ride no hands, and just shake it out, whatever, but the numbness in my left arm wouldn't go away, right? I'm like, okay, you know what? At the next aid station, I'm just gonna get off and really like shake out my left hand because it's really like, it's bothering me. Like, it's to the point where it's numb, but it's like really hurting. So boom, 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 I'm pedaling. And this race, it was 7,000 feet of climbing, which was less of the race I did 6 weeks prior to that. but it was in only 2 mountains, right? The climbing, all that 7,000 feet was in 2 climbs, right? The one prior to that was in 6 climbs, right? So imagine 11,000 feet divided over 6 mountains, right? It's only burst of maybe like 2,000, 1,500 feet. The entire 7,000 feet was all in 2 mountains, mostly one of them. And the climbing started like around mile 40. As I'm climbing, I've seen that I'm naturally really, really good at climbing. It's something that I just feel good at, right? But now my left arm is still getting numb, and it's getting even worse to the point where I can't stop ignoring it. I'm like, yo, this shit really hurts. So I'm trying to shake my left hand, trying to get the blood back into it, riding with one arm, right? And now, like, riding with the one arm, I'm putting even more pressure on that one arm while I'm climbing. So now this arm's starting to get tired. So now I'm having to switch back and forth, right? And now I'm starting to get lower back pain, which is, again, like, I know it comes with riding the bike, but this was a back pain I'd only experienced once when I ran the 40 miles. So this is a back pain that I was familiar with, and as soon as it started happening, I was like, oh shit. Let me tell you, from mile 40 to 55 were the worst moments of my life. To this day, I had never, ever felt such bad pain in my life. And it wasn't even from tiredness. It was just from my lower back and my arms, right? It was to the point where there was people that got off their bikes that were walking. They were walking faster than me riding the bike. That's how steep this shit was. So I'm literally like, I'm getting off of the bike and I can't even walk because that shit's literally like this. So I literally sit down and I don't know what hurts. My arm is killing me. I'm sitting down on the fucking street, holding my bike so my bike doesn't roll back, and I can't even walk because that shit hurts. So I'm getting on and off the bike, really trying to like get the blood back into my hand, and nothing's working. Right? Climbing that entire mountain took me 3 hours. And in that span of 3 hours, I went through every emotion possible. I was happy, sad, mad, excited, aroused, non-aroused, surprised. I cried, and it was the worst pain I had ever felt in my life. Whatever, boom, I finished the race, and it took me 8.5 hours. To be exact, I think it was like 8 hours and 35 minutes, almost 9 hours. As soon as I finished that race, I gave my dad my bike because he had already finished 2 hours before me. Gave him the bike. I was like, gave him the bike. Boom. What are the favorite places you have been to, and where do you want to go? As some of you guys may or may not know, I hate traveling. Let me explain. I just find it ridiculously impossible and hard to stay still, right? So you can imagine, flights are my best friend because I cannot fall asleep and I'm always moving around to find comfort, which I rarely do. So, little fun fact for my Ironman, I did not do it in the United States. I went to Europe, or to be more specific, to Greece. If you know why I'm saying it like this, it's because the flight time was 11 hours. For those of you that know me, imagine this person on a flight for 11 hours. No movie downloaded, no TV screen, and no book. I started reading the fucking manual on the planes that they give, And I just kept reading it. Like, it was the worst moment of my life. I hated that shit. As of now, I would say Greece was a really nice place I did visit, right? Outside of like the whole like traveling, like airplane stuff. I would say, yeah, Greece was really nice. It was beautiful, right? Didn't get to really experience Greece or really get to travel, like really get to know like the places, because I only stayed for 3 days. Literally flew in the day before the race, did the race, and left the day after, right? So I didn't have enough time to travel the city as much as I would like to. Now, the top 3 places I would love to go. Number 1, my dream vacation that will happen is I'm going to be going to Dubai. As some of you guys know me, like, I want to go to Dubai so bad, but it's very expensive. But the time will come and I will be in Dubai with my turban, riding a camel, chilling. Number 2, Sweden. I don't know why. A lot of people speak very well of Sweden. There might be bunnies there. If you know, I know. 3rd place would be Colombia. Now you might be saying, you just came back from Colombia. Yes, I did. But I went to like a really small pueblo, like with my dad. I'd like to go to Colombia by myself or with like a group of friends to either Bogota, Medellin, and Cali, right? What are your long-term goals? Number 1 goal is to be a funded trader, which I will be around March, April of next year. Number 2, I'm gonna have a 6-pack, right? That's something I've been working towards almost like the past 3 years now, and hasn't been successful. Why? Because I was not doing it correctly. What do you do outside of the gym / training? I am a day trader and I am a personal trainer, right? I've been day trading for about 3 years now, and it's what I dedicate most of my time to and what I've dedicated the past 3 years of my life to. And outside of training, right, I'm a personal trainer. So I train my endurance athletes, and I also train strength training, right? I do online programming, and I also do in-person sessions. Finishing up the video on the hand tripod and in the light skin angle. If you can see, I went a little too high on the hairline for the fade. Sorry, I'll be back in 2 weeks. That is it for today, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed my first ever YouTube video. This was in the making for 3 weeks, and I literally just got this done within the span of 30 minutes. I don't know why I was thinking so much, but if you guys enjoyed this video and enjoyed getting to know me a bit better and getting to know me maybe on a little vulnerable side, or maybe getting stuff to know about me that you didn't know, right? Please drop a like and a subscribe. It would mean the world to me, right? I'm not making any money off of this, and I'm just literally doing it just to show you guys what's possible in life, right? If you guys want to support me, I have no sponsors. I only have one sponsor, and that is Certified Lifters brand. If you guys see me at the gym, which most of the people that know me from the gym, that's all I wear. That's literally my only wardrobe in my closet. I don't have any more clothes. Please, Certified Lifters brand, give me more clothes. I need more clothes, please. If you guys want to support me in any way, shape, or form, we are dropping clothes every single week. Use my code. I'm going to put the link to my code in the description, and I'm going to put my code in my description as well. It's code OSO, O-S-O, and it'll save 10% off your purchases. Any purchase as big, 10% off every item when you use my code. Guys, thank you guys so much for tuning in. It means the world to me, and I can't wait to take you guys along this journey with me. Guys, thank you guys so much, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Let's go.